Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist with Money Mike. Money Mike, welcome to the show, Money.
Yes, sir, Jim. Good morning to you. Man, I finally got out of the slump last week. Go 5-3 and hit a teaser because I had 3 bad weeks. I apologize to all the listeners if they lost any of their hard-earned money, but I know I lost some of mine, and I wasn't too happy about it. But we're going to be in the holiday spirit since it's December and Santa's on his way, and we're going to give out winners for the whole month, buddy. I feel it. I might even throw in a few college plays for this Saturday and maybe a Sunday college game if you think we should do that today. Let me know.
Let's do it. And I'll give you one college play. I take a little bit of a back seat in the college, but to the pros, I always do better. Recent 10 years or decade anyway, I've been doing a little bit better in the pros. But I do have one play. We have a game that they wrote in. Since Liberty has Corona problems, Corona, COVID, whatever you want to call it, Coastal Carolina, who's undefeated, is going to play BYU, who's also undefeated. And the line on that game is BYU 10. It seems like a big number, but I like BYU in that game. I'm very high on them in most of their games, at least, and I think they're a very good team. I'd like to see them get to the playoffs. I know that probably won't happen because politics won't let it happen, but I like them in this game against Coastal.
Yeah, you could be right, Jim. I don't have an opinion on that game. I know I've had Coastal a few weeks, and they could score some points. Is that on a neutral site, Jim, or is it in BYU?
I don't think it's in BYU. Let me go see where that is. Hold on.
Okay. It should be a hell of a game. 10 seems like a big number, but if you're looking to lay it, so...
Well, you do have to deal with one issue that a lot of people don't consider. How much older and more mature physically and mentally, I guess, to a point, the BYU team is. They're older players.
Right.
And because they go on mission and stuff, and they come, and that's big. That's big when you're talking about somebody that's 18 to 22 or 24. You're a lot more physically able to. I think that's a big issue. Now, I don't usually lay double digits in it very much. If I'll do it in college football occasionally, but I'm not a double digit favorite player. But I do like them.
Yeah, I think it's at Coastal Carolina. I just got 4 plays. I'll just give you the team and the spread, and then we'll start on the NFL because we've got some time going here. I'm gonna take TCU plus 2.5 at home against Okie State. I'm gonna take BC plus 6 at Virginia. I'm gonna take West Virginia plus 6.5 at Iowa State. And on Sunday, I'm gonna go with the Trojans of Southern Cal minus 13 against Washington State. They're the 4 I'm giving out, and if you want to rock on to the NFL, or if you have any opinion on them, let's rock and roll, brother.
Okay, well, let's go to the NFL, and it starts on Sunday, and it's Detroit at the Bears. We don't have to talk about every game, but I can bring it down. You can stop me. Detroit's at the Bears. The Bears are a 3-point favorite. Bengals at Miami. Miami's an 11.5 point favorite. The Colts at the Texans. The Colts are a 3 or 3.5 point favorite, and I know you like that game.
Okay, yeah, I laid 3 with the Colts. They're getting Jonathan Taylor back, their leading rusher, even though Hines has had some good games. They're coming off a brutal performance against Tennessee. Brutal. They beat them down in Tennessee a couple weeks ago. Last week they looked like a JV team. Couldn't stop anybody. And I think they'll get a couple other players back that missed last week on the defense with the COVID. Houston is without Fuller now, without Cobb. And Stills is gone. They have, Cooks is their one receiver plus their tight end. And you got Deshaun and I guess Johnson running the ball. I mean, it's a big spot for the Colts. They're 8-3. They got a good playoff spot, and I think they'd like to move up if they can. So I can't see, now I see 3.5, which I probably wouldn't have laid it, but I laid the 3, and that's my first play of the week.
All right. I don't know if you have anything on the Jags in Minnesota, the Raiders and the Jets,
No.
the Saints and the Falcons.
Yeah, we disagree here a little. I laid 3 with the Saints. I'm seeing a little bit of 2.5 now. I just, they're only one game up on Seattle and Green Bay, and only one team is going to draw a bye. Now that they're going to have 7 playoff teams, so I know it's on the road, and I know Atlanta can score points. Their defense isn't that good. Tyson Hill was going to play again, and he beat them about 3 weeks ago, 24-9 down on the Bayou. And you have the Atlanta, every week it's a question mark. Gurley and Jones, every week. I don't know, they're like a max unit, those 2 guys. They can't stay healthy. If they don't play, I can't. Ridley and Cage, I don't think that's enough to beat the Saints, because the Saints will run the ball, run the clock. Hill will make some plays with Cooks and Thomas. I just think they're a better team, and I like the coach. I know the Atlanta coach, we like him too, but I think the Saints, this is a big game. They want to stay ahead of Green Bay and Seattle, Jim.
Well, I agree. I agree with your analysis. However, I think that the Atlanta Falcons, you got to look at from the beginning of the year to now. Quinn was the coach at the Falcons, and Quinn's been a mess. He was the coach when they blew the 28-3 Super Bowl. He should have been fired then. Raheem Morris coached before at Tampa. He had a 10-6 record there. He got fired the next year, which I never understood that. He's a pretty good coach. He's a fiery guy. He's got a lot of passion. He's got this team playing well. The Falcons have talent. This is a revenge dog with, revenge home underdog, which is a great spot. Tyson Hill's a good quarterback. He's a great guy. Everything, but he's not gonna light up the scoreboard for you, and that alone makes any points worth taking. The line opened 3 with juice on the favorite, and now it's 2.5. I like the dog here. I think the Falcons are going to win this game straight up. I know you and I don't often differ, but we do on this one. I like the fact that the Falcons are home again. Saints are on the road again. Revenge from a couple of weeks ago. You got a change of coach, which has really changed things. And you have a drop-off from Drew Brees, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the world ever, to a guy that Taysom Hill, which he's very good. He's a great, fantastic athlete. No question about that. But he's not in that ballpark. So I think that the Falcons are going to bounce back and win this game straight up.
All right. We'll go on to the next game. What are we seeing?
Raiders
at Tennessee.
Well, we didn't talk about the Raiders and Jets, but I will like to say that I think the Raiders last week were very flat, coming off losing to the Kansas City Chiefs, which they played their ass off and played great. And then they went on the road and just laid an egg. Now they're going to play probably the worst team in football. I guess they're the worst team in football. Maybe Cincinnati is now at this point. I don't know who else it would be. But you could say the Jags or maybe the Lions or something like that. But they're bad. And
right.
I like the Raiders. I don't know that the Jets score much, but I like the Raiders to line up. I think Gruden's done a good job. They're not a perfect team. Nobody's a perfect team, but they laid an egg. I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Jim. They're the better team. I hope they do, because we're Vegas guys. It's no play for me. I wouldn't lay 8 with them on the road, but they should have no problem beating the Jets. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, the Jets, one of the worst teams. We'll move on to the Cleveland-Tennessee game. I took the Browns. I know you liked them a little bit. I took 6. Now I'm seeing 5.5 across the board. Just, they're both 8-3. Tennessee, big emotional game last week with the Colts. They won it big, but, at home, Cleveland's got those 2 running backs. Tennessee's got Henry. So, you got 2 against 1 there. Baker don't have to make too many decisions, I hope. Sometimes good, he does, and sometimes not. But Tannehill, he's had his moments. I'm not in love with the defense on Tennessee, so I think the Browns are going to be able to run the ball. And 6 is a nice number to have in a game. If it goes to overtime, the worst you could do is push. But I look for a real close game here, and I think the Browns can beat this team because you're getting Myles Garrett back, who had missed the last two games for the Browns, and he'll put the pressure on Tannehill. He does it against everybody. He's a great pass rusher, so I'm looking for the Browns to show up and really play a good game, Jim.
I agree. I like the Browns, especially +6. I'm not very high on Baker Mayfield. I think he's a C+ or a B- quarterback, but with a running game, and he has Hunt and Chubb, that makes them very strong, and that's what they've been doing, is managing the game with the running game. Don't make Baker do too much, and because he's more prone to make mistakes than not. But I think there's a quarterback edge for the Titans. The coaches are both good. The running games are kind of equal. I mean, nobody's any better than the running back Henry, but I mean, he's great. He's unbelievable. But this is going to be a dogfight. This is going to be a good game, and I like the Browns +6 as well.
All right, we'll go on to the Giants going out west to play Seattle. I think Daniel Jones had hamstring problem. If I was the Giants, I'd give him another week and let him play next week. I mean, I know they're in a battle for that big NFC East division. Seattle coming off a short week, looked very good against the Eagles, but then the Eagles are really not playing well at all. But they got Carson back last week to run the ball to go along with Hyde. You have Russell Wilson, an MVP candidate every year almost. Pete Carroll, a good coach. Even though I like the Giants as 10 points in this game, I would lean with the Giants. I'm not going to play it, but I'd rather if Daniel Jones was playing, it maybe would be a play at 10, Jim. But I'll just pass and I'll cheer for the Seahawks because that's one of my teams I like.
Well, I like the Seahawks as well, but not in this game. And if Jones was playing at quarterback, he wouldn't be getting 10. So that's another issue. I like the Giants +10, but I play most big double-digit dogs anyway. So I probably won't play it. I'm not really happy with the way the Seahawks are playing. I think Russell has dropped off quite a bit in the last few weeks. He's definitely focused more on Metcalf, but he's not getting a lot of protection from his offensive line. I mean, he is getting hit a lot, and he's getting a little older. He's 8-9 years in the game. You're not going to stay as agile through all that period of time. So I'm not thrilled with the offensive line, and we know their defense is weak. However, they improved the last couple of weeks. But when you play Philadelphia, you generally do improve because they're pretty bad. I would take the Giants or nothing, but I'm not. I may not, but because I do play a lot of double-digit dogs, I'll probably have a little bit on it, but it won't be a big play.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. But Seattle, Adams is healthy now, and who's that player they picked up from Cincinnati?
Dunlap, but he's a question mark.
He's a question mark this week with his toe or something. But he played a good game Monday night. I think I would leave him out, let him get a little healthy, but because this is a game they should be able to win without him. But I think the defense, if they can play like they did last week, I know it was the Eagles, but if they can stay healthy and play as those guys stay healthy, Jim, Adams and Dunlap, I think they're going to be dangerous. I know, but he's gone away from Lockett. I don't know why, because Lockett could make a lot of plays. Lockett was his main man. I forget who they had before that retired that was very good for them as a receiver. But Metcalf, he's like P.O. I mean, he's like a beast. You can't bring him down. He gets the ball. He's going. I mean, and he can run. He's a tough guy to defend. I mean, they got weapons, and they can run the ball. So we'll see. I think they're a strong NFC team, but we'll see.
They're a very strong NFC team. They just got to get back to what they were doing in the first part of the year a little bit on the offensive side. But, they're in a tough division out there, so they got to keep winning. I mean, you got the Rams, you got the 49ers, you got the Arizona Cardinals all in that same mix out there. The NFC's tough. I mean, they want to keep winning. They're 7-3. They don't want to drop off, and it should be a good game. But I do favor I do favor taking the points, but not because just because it's just a big number. Next game is the Rams and the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm on the Rams -3, Jim. I would have liked to got it at maybe 2 or 2.5. It started out a little lower, but it's a must game for the Rams, and they're coming off a loss. I mean, I like the way Arizona's playing. They're improving with Murray, and they got Hopkins. They're improving. They didn't look too good against the Patriots on the road, but then Belichick against a young quarterback, that's his specialty. He shuts them down usually. He has a good record against all rookie or first-year guys, second-year guys. So, but I think the Rams, I think the defense will put the pressure on Murray between Floyd and Aaron Donald. I think Goff, he's got to get the Cup and Woods, get the running game. And McVay has the way edge in coaching in this game. And he's very rarely outcoached, McVay. He's very good. I mean, he loses some games, but he's real sharp. And I think they'll come up with a formula here. They know they need this game. They're a game behind Seattle right now. I mean, they're in the playoffs, but they're a game behind, and this would increase their margin over Arizona, too. So I look for a big performance from the Rams at Arizona, Jim.
Well, I agree with you. I think the defense for the Rams is going to come to play. Excuse me. I got a little allergy stuff going on here, so suffering with that. There's all kinds of things to suffer with these days. But I like the Rams in this spot. And I do see 2.5s popping up, so I think you can get a 2.5 here. You don't have to lay the 3. I think you can get 2.5. So I like them.
Right.
Next game is the Eagles at the Packers. Now we know the Eagles are terrible. Wentz is a mystery. I don't know what happened to him, but the Packers are smoking. They're 8-3. Aaron Rodgers looks unbelievable. They're laying 8.5 or 9. You can find some 8s too as well. But Eagles at the Packers. Any interest there?
Yeah, I took the Packers. I laid 8.5. I laid 8.5 Sunday night with them over the Bears. I laid 8 and 8.5 when I knew Trubisky was playing. But Wentz is going to get his girlfriend back. Ertz is coming back this week. So what a difference that'll mean, I don't know. But the Packers, they're running the ball. They're passing the ball. The defense is playing good. You know, they're only a game behind the Saints for that number 1 spot. Them, Seattle, I mean, they can't have a bad week. There's like 5 games left. They got to come to play, and the weather will be cold. Philly's used to that, but to me, Wentz misses Frank Reich, who went to the Colts. You know, he's the coach there now, and they're just seeming to have problems. He's missing receivers. There's no running game. I don't know how they're going to be in this game at all. I think this is going to be the same kind of outcome as Sunday night was when Green Bay beat the Bears by 15 points. I see the same kind of outcome, Jim.
I think the Eagles are a little bit more capable on offense than the Bears are, but I'll tell you, Wentz is just he's just a mystery, man. I'll tell you, I don't know what the hell's going on there, but he's got it in his head that he's got to do it all, and he's just not capable of doing it all. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to play that game. The Patriots at the Chargers. Patriots are terrible, but they found a way to win. And the Chargers, no matter how good Herbert plays, Anthony Lynn finds a way to lose the game. So I don't know what you want to do with that game.
I'm going to pass. I was going to play the Patriots because, like I said, Belichick against rookie quarterbacks, and you're right, they find ways to lose. They had a shot at Buffalo in that game. You know, they made some mistakes, so did Buffalo, but I was tempted, but I had a pick or -1 either way. I'm going to pass, but I lean the Patriots. I'm just a little worried. Bosa had a good game last week. He may get after Cam Newton, and that could be a problem. It's a funny game. The Chargers have the weapons, and Echo's back. He had a great game last week, receiving and running. They got weapons. I don't know what the Patriots, I don't know how that defense is going to travel this week. So I'm going to stay off that game because the other games I played I really like. And the next game you got a 14-point favorite, Chiefs over Denver. I mean, there's no play for me at all. I have no interest in that game.
I agree. We can move on to the Monday and Tuesdays. Monday, of course, we got Buffalo at 49ers, but they're not at the 49ers. The 49ers have had to move. They're playing the next couple of weeks at least, their home games in Arizona. So they're playing the Bills this week, and the Bills are a 1-point favorite. So you're not giving Arizona any home field because they're not home. But it is an advantage being on the West Coast. They do play in that stadium more often. The Bills are coming across country to play them. So you and I both like the same side in this game. So go ahead, Mike. You talk about it.
I took the Niners +1. I would have liked to have gotten 2.5 earlier in the week, but sometimes we're catching some good numbers, and then some numbers we're not. But that doesn't always turn out to hurt you. But Buffalo was in Arizona a couple of weeks ago and lost that heartbreaker when they couldn't defend a third and whatever from the 50-yard line. They let Murray hit Hopkins with a pass that shouldn't have happened. But that's a different story. That's why, to me, Buffalo, they're not the same team as they were the last couple of years. I think the defense is down some. Josh Allen, he's having a good year, but he makes mistakes. The Niners are getting healthy. They played a great game last week against a tough Rams team, and they're not easy to beat in L.A. And I just think at home, I know Mullins has played quite a few games now over the last few years, so he's no rookie. But Mostert's back. Some of the receivers are healthy. Nat Samuels is back, and he's a difference maker. And they got a better coach, I believe, in Shanahan. So I'm going to take that 1 point with the Niners. I'll also use them in a teaser once I get a line on that Baltimore game and that Washington game that's coming up, Jim. But I like the Niners +1. That's a play.
I agree with you. I like the Niners as well. And I know Garoppolo's out. I just looked it up. And Mullins can play. And actually, there's some people that think Mullins is actually better. But I'm not a professional at that, at analyzing quarterbacks. But he looks pretty good to me at times. And now that he's getting all the snaps in practice and everything, he's starting to look a little better. And that was a big game last week. They won that one. Then we have this other game. Pittsburgh, who we saw yesterday, who is an amazing how Pittsburgh plays down to their talent, to their opponent. When they're a big favorite, boy, you just can't lay points with them. And they're playing Washington. Washington's coached by Rivera now. And they're down to quarterbacks. They lost their quarterbacks, but Alex Smith is playing well. He's not going to get you a lot of yards. He managed his game, just doesn't try to not turn it over. His whole career is like that, but he's always had good winning records, and he's playing decent. And Pittsburgh, of course, you're going to be looking at probably 8.5 or 9 in this game. I haven't seen an official line, but that's what you're looking at. Probably Pittsburgh about 8.5 or 9.
Well, I lean Washington. If I get 8, I'm going to play them. It's a short week for the Niners. I mean, the Steelers, Wednesday to Monday. They lose Dupree yesterday, one of their best pass rushers. Bush has been out. He's done for the season. So now you're down to J.J. Watt's brother, and he makes a difference in the game. But like I said, you lose Dupree, you're already short-handed with Bush. Redskins, Alex Smith, he can manage a game. He's very good. He runs a little, he passes it. He normally doesn't make big mistakes. They're coming off a Turkey Day win over Dallas, a big win, in fact, maybe 20-some point win. He threw I think one interception in that game was a bad play, but they all do it at some point. But I think they can run the ball, and I like their defense. I think they'll put pressure on Big Ben. He can't move as much as he did years ago. He's a big statue. It's hard to bring him down, but I wasn't impressed with the Steelers yesterday. And if Connor, who they said was going to be out for 10 days, I doubt he's going to be available Monday. They have Benny Snell to run the ball, and he didn't do much yesterday against the Ravens, who were a little shorthanded on defense but still played tough. I look for this game to be a touchdown or less and give the Redskins a shot. They're fighting for that NFC East lead, Jim. So I think you're going to get a good performance, and Rivera will have them ready. He's a first-class coach. So
I know when you're talking about the Redskins, you're talking about the Washington football team, but which is their official name now. I agree with you. I think Washington will come to play. They do lead the league in sacks, and Ben is a statue. He's not going to move around a lot. He can't move around a lot. He's still efficient, but he doesn't move much. So I do like Washington. So and we don't know the number, but we're probably going to be taking somewhere between 8 and 9, I'm guessing, on the game.
I would say we're going to be, Jim. I'd just like to throw in a basketball college hoop game from our friend Vegas Rick, who's a friend of ours. He's been on a good streak since the college hoop started, and if we have any college players out there, their big play today is an under 154.5 on the Wright State Marshall game. If anybody's interested, there's a little extra play for you guys. They've been red hot in total so far in college basketball, so do what you think. It's for amusement only, as some people say.
You got that right. Okay, well, Mike, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and continue winning. 5-3 is a good week. I know a couple of weeks ago it would have been like 7-1, but still 5-3 is a profitable week. Keep it going.
All right, Jim. Thank you, and we're in the holiday spirit. We're going to give out winners all month and make everybody money. So let's all have a great day today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Hold on 1 second, please. Hold on. Everybody, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
This episode is sponsored by Schwans.com. What are you having for dinner tonight? Good question. Schwann's Home Delivery has a solution for you. Stock up your freezer with high-quality frozen foods like premium meats and sides, delicious ready-made meals, ice cream, and more. No subscriptions, no memberships, just a friendly yellow truck that's been delivering food for almost 70 years. Listeners of this show get a special deal. Get 20% off your first order with code YUM20. Check out schwans.com/YUM for details.
We're always driving to dance lessons. So we signed up for Know Your Drive. We save money and get closer to her dancing dreams.
The daring young man on the flying trapeze.
Or maybe her singing dreams. Sign up for Know Your Drive and save up to 20%. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Products not available in every state. Discount terms apply. Visit amfam.com/knowyourdrive for details. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.